Hi folks, it's Andy here from Bushcraft. Hope you're having a nice day. So I'm out on my 3-day Bushcraft wild camp trip. I think I mentioned it on my last video that I was going to be doing this. I'm going to be out here for about 3 days. Originally I planned to just move around from place to place, but we'll just have to wait and see. If I can find a decent location that I like, I might just stay there for the full 3 days. But my main aim while I'm out here is to try and get the bow drill cracked. At least one of the nights I want a fit fire with the bow drill, so I've got plenty of time to get stuck into it while I'm here. The wife permitted me 3 days, so other than that I'm just generally going to enjoy myself being out here and practice a few other bushcraft skills. I've brought my homemade auger bit or gimlet with the intent on tapping a birch tree. I did it for the first time last year, tapped the birch tree, and I loved it. I thought it was the most refreshing drink I've ever had. How to explain it? It tastes exactly the way birchwood smells, if that makes sense, with a bit of sweetness. It's got a sweetness to it. But in the morning, when it's freezing cold, it's the most refreshing drink I've ever had. So I don't know if I managed to get it done because birch trees here are far and few between. But, fingers crossed. So I'll get cracking now because I still need to find myself a camp spot. Yeah. So I found this track here. It sort of looks like a dog track, but the paw print looks quite big. But down here would be the pad, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 toes, and in these like triangular shape bits look like they could be claws. I assume it's probably badger. It's just it looks a lot bigger than I imagined a badger print to be. See, there's my hand next to it. I hope it's a badger, because I'm going to be sleeping quite close to where this print is. So this is more or less my setup for tonight. Hammock, blow-up mat, tap over the top. I'm not expecting rain tonight, so I'm going to leave the top flat like this, because in that way when I wake up tomorrow morning I've got this, it's quite a nice view of the woods. I've kind of lucked out as well, because this spot on the map there's a lot of birch around, so I will be able to attempt to tap a birch. And then after all, I'm going to dig out a small fireplace just there on the outskirts of the tap, and behind you there's a tree there with some dead standing wood under it, so I'm going to get into that, start processing it down, and then store some under my tap where my feet will be. So this is my homemade auger bit that I made, or gimlet, whatever you want to call it. It's basically just a £4 wood bit, wood drill bit from B&Q's. I think it's about 8mm. What I did is, at the top end that goes into the handle, I originally just epoxy resined it in, and then the first time I used it in a tree, put it in, twisted it, and after I got to a certain point, the seal of the glue broke inside, so the drill was just spinning. So what I did is I took it home, and then on the sides of the drill, I took a little Dremel grinder and ground into either side of the drill, and then put it back in, and I drilled into the handle each way, from that way into the middle, and then that way into the middle, and that way I was able to put bolts in and screw them in tight into the little bits that I ground into the sides of the drill bit. And then what that did is when I pushed it in and twist it, it would stop the drill bit spinning. I put in a bit of epoxy resin as well, just to help things along. And then on the ends there, all I did was just hammered in a bit of wood, glued it in, and then sawed it flush. The handle's just a piece of birchwood, so are the plugs that I got from the forest. I mean, all in all, this cost about £4 for the drill bit. The 2 bolts I already had from, don't know why I just had them. And same with epoxy resin, just had that as well. But yeah, it does a trick. I'm about to use it now and tap this birch tree behind me. One drip at a time. I don't know how much I'm going to get off of that by tomorrow morning, but it's worth the wait. So I was just messing about with the bow drill there, and I got my first ember out in the bush with it. Whee! Fire! Just use the fire steel to get this fire going, or the ferro rod to get this fire going. And the excitement of getting the bow drop to work, I just sat there and watched my tinder bundle burn out. So back to old faithful, ferro rod, can't go wrong. The birch tree that I tapped, it's failed. It started, the sap was leaking for a while. I've got about maybe 3mm of birch sap in the bottom of the tub, or the tin even, sorry. And that's it. It's just stopped. So I don't know what's happened there. Maybe it's too early in the season or something. Don't know. So I get this fire going now and get my food cooked. I've got the rice and the chili again, bit of naan bread, and for afterwards, seeing as we're coming up to Easter, I thought I'd have a few mini eggs. What I'm also going to do is a bit of charred punkwood in this Altoids tin. I've never done charred punkwood. I've done the char cloth before, and I've used that to blow it into flame. But it's I don't know. I'm not too keen on the char cloth because it takes a lot. Well, for me anyway, it took a lot to burn it into flame. So basically, I made a whole tin up of char cloth, and I used that whole tin to basically turn a tinder bundle into flame. I think it burns too quickly. So I thought if I go for the char wood, it'll be more like a coal, and it won't just disintegrate as easily. So I'm going to make that tonight and give that a bash, see how that goes.